Today, we're going to talk about the really important difference between thoughts and beliefs. Beliefs are what matter. Thoughts don't matter so much. I know that's contrary to what you might have heard, but hear me out on this because once you get this, you will know that you have to focus on beliefs and you will know that the ability to build beliefs changes your life and the lives of those around you. I teach people how to build beliefs. For 25 years, I built belief in the courtroom with logical and conscious tools, things like evidence and stories. And now I'm training in hypnosis to build subconscious beliefs and emotional tools to build beliefs from both perspectives. And I know that it is beliefs and not thoughts that matter. Nothing happens until someone believes. People can think all day long, but if they believe, things change. Let me give you a recent example. I am running up a hill as fast as I can in heels, dodging shrubs and bushes and trees. And there are three things going through my head. The first thing going through my head is, we will get him. The second thing going through my head is, this is my fault. And the third thing going through my head is, who let the dog out? Not the like, who version, but who let the dog out? The dog is Toby. Toby is my parents' dog, and he is one of the loves of my mother's life. And he has gotten out somehow. I'm not clear on how, but I was about to go to dinner with my nieces, Brenna and Brielle, and my parents, and we were driving separately. I was in a car with Brenna and Brielle. Brenna yelled just as we were pulling out of the complex where my parents live, the condo complex, Toby, and I put the car into park and we all take off. And now we are all running through the woods trying to find Toby. And so those are the three things going through my head, but only one of them is a belief. The first, we will get him. I know I don't believe that because of the way I feel. If I believed we will get Toby, I would be calm, cool, and collected. I would not be nervous and anxious and stressed. And since I am feeling nervous and anxious and stressed, I know that is a thought, but it is not a belief. Number two, it's my fault. Now, the evidence for that thought or belief, we'll test it, is that I used to be a lot faster than I am now. I used to be a runner and now I'm a walker. Walking is better for my mental health. It's better for my hips and my knees. It is not better for my speed. And Toby just got by me. I almost had him and I wasn't able to reach him because I'm too slow. So this thought, it's my fault, feels real. I feel guilty. I feel ashamed. I feel frustrated. I feel embarrassed. I feel sad. So this is a belief. Beliefs create emotions. Beliefs create energy. Now, the last one, who let the dog out? Who let Toby out? That is a thought in service of the belief. Because as soon as I believe it's my fault, I am looking for someone else to blame. I am looking for something else to blame. And who let Toby out? Whoever the answer to that question is, will give me something else or someone else to blame. So three things running through my head, but only one of them is a belief. I sprint up the hill as fast as I can go. And when I get to the top of the hill, Brenna and Brielle are coming from two different directions. Brielle is wearing socks but no shoes because she was putting her sneakers on when we saw Toby running away. Brenna is carrying her shoes and running barefoot because the last time Toby got out, she had thrown a flip-flop to get him back and thought she would do the same thing. We are a motley crew. We see each other and we again go off into different directions. I head up the street and along comes my mother in her white Toyota RAV4. As I said, Toby is the love of my mother's life, one of them. And my mom has had a rough summer. She had COVID this summer that actually had her down and out for the count more than when she had it before. And she needs a hip replacement. And so she has been working on a cane and she's been in a lot of pain and it has been a rough summer. More support for this belief that if it's my fault, I should feel embarrassed, guilty, ashamed. My mother pulls up and before she can say anything to me, I say, who let the dog out? Who left the door open? Immediately, I am looking for someone to blame, to take that belief that I have that it's my fault away. My mother sort of shakes her head at me in disappointment. and drives on. But she is calm, cool, and collected. She is not freaking out. She does not have the wild eyes that myself and Brenna and Brielle have. My mother is almost at peace. So she drives away, I keep running, and then I round the corner into a cul-de-sac, and my mother is parked in the Toyota RAV4 with the door to the car open, and Toby's standing at the foot of the car, not in the car, looking at her. My mother says something to him. He jumps into the car. She closes the door and takes him home. So I collect my nieces. We go back to the house. We go into the house, and my mother simply says, I knew we'd get him. My mother knew we would get him, and therefore she was feeling confident, calm, sure, certain, motivated. And as a result, she was a magnet to Toby, and she is the one that got him. The difference between thoughts and beliefs is huge because it is your beliefs that create your results. It is your beliefs that create your emotions, which lead to your actions, which lead to your results. In my work in the Belief Builders Academy, we talk about the BEAR formula. Beliefs lead to emotions and energy, lead to actions, and lead to results. It is not the TEAR formula or TIER formula. It is the BEAR formula. It is your beliefs that matter. So let's talk about a little bit of the difference between beliefs and thoughts and how you can see the difference in your mind. Because once you recognize that something is a thought, you can sort of give it short shrift and move on. But when you realize that something is a belief, if it is serving you and making you have strong, happy, positive emotions and energy, then you can feed that belief. And if it's not serving you and you're starting to collect thoughts to support it, you can stop that process and try a new belief on for size. So let's talk about 3 things about beliefs and thoughts that are going to help you to see this difference. The first thing that you should know is beliefs are thoughts that you feel. Beliefs are thoughts that you feel. So for example, that belief, it's my fault. That is a thought that I felt deep inside. I felt that thought, so I knew it was a belief. I believed it. If I had just thought, if my belief was we will get him, but I had the thought it's my fault, it would not have felt so bad. But the belief that it's my fault had my energy and emotion completely changing, had my actions completely changing, and had my results completely changing. You want to really tune into how you feel. When I coach people in the academy or one-on-one, we will talk about how do you feel, because your feelings are telling you what you believe. And if your feeling is something that you want to change, it is your belief that needs changing. It is very difficult to start at the level of energy or emotion. It is much easier to start at the level of belief and see what is it that I am believing? What is the subconscious belief? If we have a subconscious belief, we can work on it with hypnosis or some of the tools that we use in hypnosis. If it's a conscious belief, we can work on it with evidence and stories and getting testimony, all kinds of ways that I teach in the membership. But first we need to know, is it a belief or a thought? And beliefs are thoughts that you feel. So check in with your feelings, check in with your body, check in with your nervous system to determine whether something is a thought or a belief. That's number 1. Number 2 is beliefs are often thoughts that you practice. Oftentimes, a belief is a thought that you have repeated over and over and over again and practiced so much that it becomes natural. For example, that belief, it's my fault, that is something that was practiced for me. When I was a trial attorney, if I lost a case, I believed it was my fault. In my work as a trial attorney, we would have to try to ascertain blame to other people and make it their fault. And so I was accustomed to believing that fault can be assigned, blame can be assigned, and believing that that was part of my job. And a lot of that was to take on the blame and to take on the fault myself. That is a very practiced thought for me. And it's a thought that is so practiced that it has become an easy belief. So the first way to know the difference between beliefs and thoughts is a belief is a thought that you feel. And the second way to sort of sense it is a belief is a thought that you practice. So if you have something that you have consistently told yourself, thought to yourself, repeated in your brain over and over and over again, there's a good chance that it's created a neural pathway and that it is a belief. It is the type of thing that we can address consciously with evidence and stories, and subconsciously by talking to your subconscious mind, whether you're under hypnosis or even in meditation when you're running different things that people get into the theta brainwave state so that they can impact their beliefs in their subconscious mind. The third thing to know about thoughts and beliefs is oftentimes your thoughts are servants of your beliefs. So, for example, in chasing Toby up the hill, my thought, who let the dog out, was a servant of a new belief that I was trying to build. I had this belief, it's my fault. I wanted to build a new belief. And so I was thinking that someone must have let Toby out. Someone must have let the door open. It's going to be that person's fault instead of mine. And I was preparing myself to collect evidence to support that new belief so that I could feel better. So oftentimes your thoughts are in service of your beliefs. And if you're recognizing that, then you can start to say, okay, be more intentional about it, be more deliberate about it. What do I want to believe? What thoughts will serve that belief? What thoughts will not serve that belief? And to stay away from the ones that aren't going to serve your belief, and to work on the ones that will serve your belief. It's so important that you recognize the difference between thoughts and beliefs, because so often we have, I don't know, this number seems suspect to me because who knows how many thoughts one has running through their head in a day. I mean, if I were to ring a bell every time I had a thought, it feels like it would be even more than the number they tell us. But scientists say it's somewhere between 30 and 60,000 thoughts a day. Whatever that number may be, every one of those thoughts is not a belief. Every one of those thoughts does not lead to a feeling, an emotion, an energy. And so to worry about the thoughts that aren't impacting you in that way is a waste of time, resources, and energy. Instead, you want to identify, is this thought a belief? You identify that by how it feels. And then if it is a belief, you do the work to support it, if it's a belief that serves you, or cross-examine it, knock it down, or trade it out if it's a belief that does not serve you. This work is so powerful. I will tell you that after all of the excitement of Toby died down, we did go to dinner. And over dinner, my younger niece, Brielle, said to the group, no offense, but how is it that Momo, that's what she calls my mother, how is it that Momo, who has a cane and can barely walk, was the one who caught Toby? And we all laughed because it's true. We are all running around like banshees with our heads cut off. And my mother, in full belief, sat in her car and magnetized Toby into the car. It is because beliefs are stronger than actions. Beliefs are magnetic. Beliefs are hypnotic. All my mother had to do was believe and open that door, and in came Toby. My belief, we're not going to find him. My niece's beliefs, whatever they might be, were not strong enough. Nor were our legs, nor were our lungs. We were never going to catch him. My mother, on the other hand, all she had to do was believe, and the strength of her belief magnetized Toby, and it was a happy ending. I hope that you start to consider what you are believing and what you're thinking, and put a lot more time and effort and weight into your beliefs and less into your thoughts. And with that, we can begin the fun of consciously and deliberately and intentionally building your beliefs. I would love to know what you think about this. I would love to know your beliefs about this and your thoughts, but your beliefs are much more important to me. If you're watching this on YouTube, please put it in the comments. I would love to hear from you, and I will definitely respond to that. If you're listening on your podcast app, you can email me, heather@elegantwarrior.com. I would love to hear about what you're believing about your thoughts and your beliefs and how they serve you. I can't wait to hear. In the meantime, have a good week and take good care.